Hello and welcome to Across the Acres, a Beck's Hybrids podcast, where our goal is to connect, challenge, and inspire each and every one of you by interviewing others whom have a story or message to share. My name is David Ringer. I'm your host, and I'm joined by my ever-faithful companion, co-host, stuff that you do, Morgan Fitch.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You know, the board looks brighter today. Did you change the color scheme at all?
I didn't, but it does. It must be this lighting.
It's really bright and, like, cheery.
Colorful.
Yeah. Little
like
Merry Christmas theme going on around the bottom there.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well done.
Thank you.
Well, today we're in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Home of the Minnesota Twins and the Timberwolves and...
The Wild.
The
Vikings.
Yeah, I forgot about the Vikings.
That stadium's awesome, though.
It is a gorgeous facility when the roof isn't tumbling in on them.
That's true. Yeah.
There's that. But because we're in Minneapolis, we're taking advantage of the fact that it's Western Summer Camp.
Mm-hmm.
And our dealers are here.
Yep.
And we have Brady Vondra.
Woo! What's
Welcome.
up, man?
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing well.
Good. And Brady Vondra of Vondra Ag Services.
Yep.
Is that right?
That is correct.
That right?
Yep.
Okay. I see that name all the time, and I talk to you all the time, but I don't necessarily say it out loud.
Right.
Sounded a little funny, but we got it right.
You did right. You did well.
Whew, good. Because it's only being recorded, so it's kind of a big deal. But we're thrilled to have you.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Minneapolis treating you good so far.
Yeah. Not bad.
Okay, good. You slept okay.
Sure did.
Good. Well, let's kick this off with the background information. Who's Brady Vondra?
Yeah.
Grew
So,
up where?
Platteville, Wisconsin.
Nice. Good old Platteville.
Yep.
Home of how many?
12,000.
Okay. So good-sized town.
Yep. College, UW Platteville.
Nice.
Yep.
Studied what?
Agriculture. They're probably well known for engineering and ag. I would say both.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're not an engineer.
I'm not an engineer. I studied ag business actually at a technical college
Nice.
just north of there.
It's the
Very
Purdue
nice.
of Minnesota, it sounds like.
It is.
Ag and engineering.
It is
Yep.
kind of the Purdue of Minnesota. That's a good call. And, grew up on a family farm.
Sure did. Yep. Milked very diversified farm as I was younger. Had milk cows and had pigs and all this stuff.
Okay.
And then got out of the dairy and transitioned more into beef and row crop as time went on.
Yeah, talk to me. Do you have siblings?
I do.
Okay. How many?
Three.
Ooh.
I-
Boys, girls?
Both.
Oofta.
Yep.
And where are you at in the birth order?
Second to last.
Okay. Things got better as mom and dad went along, or things got worse?
Better. Yep. Better. No.
Good.
I've got an older sister. She's also in ag, and then older brother. He's a horse person. And then I've got a younger brother also involved in ag as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Very nice. And they still like you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I'm the favorite.
Ooh, bold statement. Bold. Very bold. Probably true, though.
I don't know.
Sure.
Depends on the day, probably.
Okay. But you've also had something, speaking of family, happen recently that's pretty exciting. Tell me about your growing family.
Yes. So Miranda and I just welcomed our first child on May 16th, and his name happens to be Beckett Eric.
Nice.
Yeah. He's 2 months old.
Man. Exciting times.
It's awesome.
No sleep for you, though.
It's not as bad as I thought it would be.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
So for potential future parents out there, sleep is possible.
Yeah.
Okay. It's good to know, just in case you're wanting to start a family.
That's right. Do it.
And this is a good time to have a family, or is there ever a good time to have a family? It's always a good time.
It's always a good time. The 16th of May being involved in retail ag gets to be a little tough sometimes, especially in the spring like this. But
You bet.
all worth it.
Absolutely. And it
Yes.
has been a whale of a spring.
Very much so. Very much so.
Bizarre weather and,
It's been tough.
yeah.
Been tough. It's
But
been long.
Things look okay.
Yeah. So in our part of the world, we have a fair amount of topography. So obviously drainage helps now on anything that lays pretty flat. Tile lines are full and so forth. But I would say as a whole, things look pretty good. I mean, there's better than up here, I would say.
Absolutely. Yeah. It can be very tough just west of the cities, in fact.
Yep.
So what first sparked your interest in being a Beck dealer?
Oh, good question. So prior to Beck's, I actually worked in retail ag for a couple years, and Beck's was just kind of starting to come into our immediate area, and I had a lot of interest in the way they came to market, and wanted to definitely be involved in retail ag and sales of seed and so forth. So I actually reached out to Beck's and had a chance to do a fly-in tour. And when I was sitting there, I kind of told myself, I don't want to be a part of this. I feel like I need to be. Very much so.
It was a calling.
It was a calling. Very much so. Yes.
Okay.
The way they treat customers, people, the Beck family. Honestly, I'll say it's probably one of the best things I've ever done.
Wow.
Truly.
Okay. That's a bold statement, but
Very
I
bold.
believe you when you say it.
Yes, very much so.
I believe you.
Yeah, life has changed a lot since I took on a dealership in 2016.
Oh, man. Yeah. At a very tender age, right?
Yeah.
How old were you when you started this?
21.
Can you believe that, Morgan?
No.
He's a baby.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But we're not afraid to hire young dealers, you being one of them.
Right.
And I just met two last night. They were 23 and 25. And starting their own dealerships and going. And,
Good for them. Good for
right?
you.
Yeah.
That's
Very
wild.
bold.
We learned a lot. It's been challenging at times, but it's been very, very rewarding.
That's a good word.
Yes.
And you have, I remember when you started, and you have matured and grown, and it has helped create the man we see today. Is that fair?
I would guess.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no doubt. You certainly change, and time changes things. Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
The dealership today, how many people are helping you?
4 full-time employees, and then I've got a couple part-time employees in the spring.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Just because things are going fast.
It moves fast. The larger the farm, in today's world, we get so much work done in such short amount of time. It goes so fast.
Guys can plant in a hurry.
Yes. It's hard to keep up with that sometimes.
It's amazing, actually, how quick that goes.
Yeah.
And then your day-to-day, what's most days look like for Brady?
Yeah. So, I guess a little bit about, obviously we're a seed dealer with Beck's, but we also have pretty much a full retail business with application and crop protection and so forth. And usually it's just kind of delegating tasks from day to day, but then also answering calls to customers every single day and taking a look at fields and or addressing problems or situations that they may be faced with, and trying to provide that infield service for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of teams, the team you have at Beck's Hybrids, what's the good and bad of that? The people that support you from our end of the business.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say there's anything bad about it, but
that's
certainly
good news.
Yeah.
It is good.
That's good.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously our seed advisor, Ryan Syracuse, he's fairly new to the business, so we're learning together.
Yes.
I'm trying to help him.
Yes.
But he's out to the office a fair amount, and we try to involve him in different things and acquainting him with customers and learning the way that we do things in Wisconsin, as he's from New York. So it's a little different.
It is.
But I mean, beyond that, obviously the Beck's team has always been 100% in full support of what I've done, and if I've ever needed anything, it seems that it's a phone call away.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ryan's a great example of being a culture fit, even though he didn't necessarily grow up in Wisconsin.
Correct. Very much so.
He gets who and what we are,
Yep.
and then we can teach him the rest.
Yeah. We can. Yeah. No different than how I look for employees.
That's right.
I can, if they've got a good work ethic and they fit the needs of the culture that we've provided, we can teach them everything else.
That's right. Morgan and I are both examples of that. We didn't grow up raising corn and soybeans.
That's 100% true for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we're figuring it out.
Or cows or anything. I did not grow up on a farm, so
No.
at all.
But corn is the tall stuff.
Yeah.
So
I'm aware.
See, he's picking up, Brady.
Yeah, he's learning.
Doing good.
He's
right?
doing well.
Sharp kid.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, my neighborhood I grew up in was University Farms, so technically,
There you go.
You knew all you needed to know.
Yep.
yeah.
Nice.
Shout out Hamilton Street.
That's right. You had a very unfortunate experience here about a year ago, Couple
Not quite.
months.
No, September.
Oh, it was September is all.
Yeah, so we're 9 months out?
Yeah, we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary.
Yeah.
And it was, what an experience. So what happened?
Oh boy. So we had built as we grew the business from 2016, in 2019. So I'm going to take a step back here. We started our seed dealership at our family farm, and I was working out of just a small Quonset building that was renovated enough to store seed in. And in 2019, to move forward, we'd purchased some property on the main highway and built a new warehouse and everything we wanted it to be. We put an office space, conference room, restroom, all the stuff, and really had a dream
It was gorgeous.
Really, something I worked for and kind of a dream come true. And the morning of September 17th, 2023, I kind of had a life-changing event. That morning I was just finished making breakfast, and I had a call from a good friend of mine who is part of the Platteville Police Department, and he said, "Hey, is everything all right at home?" And I kind of looked around for a moment, and I said, "Yeah, everything's great. Why? What's going on?" And he said, "Well, we had a report that smoke was coming from your building." So my heart just instantly sank, and I ran outside as fast as I could, because actually my house sits probably only a few hundred yards just west of my house, but I can't really see it because I've got a long row of pine trees and so forth. So I made my way out and kind of took a look, and definitely smoke coming from the building. And it was like just your heart just sank as low as it could ever be, and definitely life-changing.
Man. Your first then job, call 911.
Yep. So actually my neighbor who lives just south of me, just south of me, has a very clear view to the building and so forth. And with that, he had already called, 911 had already been notified.
Okay.
So I showed up. He was actually the first one there before any firefight or anything. Of course, we had items around the building, skid loader attachments, and had a flatbed trailer, delivery trucks, things like that. And of course, I was in shock and awe of like, what do I even do? And so the first thing he did is said, "Hey guys, we got to get this stuff all the way from the building before the fire department shows up." And I think I was there for maybe 3 minutes, maybe. Time flew like crazy, but immediately the fire department started pulling in and setting up and so forth.
But the extent of the damage was catastrophic.
Completely, yeah. So I got a call at about 8:55 that morning, and looking back at pictures and so forth, by 9:14, everything was fully engulfed at that point. Mm-hmm. So there was really, I never really thought, okay, we got to go into this building, we got to retrieve anything. There was just no opportunity to even get close. And I think the fire departments left at noon.
Wow.
And it was basically a total loss.
Yeah. In fact, there are pictures on the web if you want to Google Vondra Ag Services. There's just a handful of images out there. I looked. Yeah. And what remains of your beautiful facility, it's unbelievable. It's just a pile of like shrapnel and the occasional Beck's box, like hanging out in the background. That's it.
Yeah. No, everything in the immediate area of that specific structure is gone.
Just gone.
Gone.
So now on a personal level,
Yep.
days and weeks after this event, what are you thinking? What are you going through?
Oh boy. Well, we had to make all the calls. Obviously we sell crop protection and so forth. So we had several agencies involved in insurance and meetings. And first thing we did is obviously it was Sunday. It was an overwhelming amount of people that showed up the day of the fire. I always use the comment that a lot of people don't live to see the support that they have in life, live through that. You go to a funeral and all these people show up and so forth, where it was quite remarkable to myself to see all these people showing up in support of what we do. And so Monday morning I said, well, we're going to meet at the kitchen table and we're going to devise a plan. And I had other customers and so forth that showed up and that maybe had fires and had different experiences that wanted to show what that looked like. And with that, we started, I had my office secretary basically go through the office and write down every single thing that she had in the office or what that we used. had the outside guys basically write down everything in the shop, from tools to equipment and different things that we would use as well, just to devise a plan and then what's this going to look like moving forward. And I kind of took a week to disconnect from the business. Obviously, there was a lot of sleepless nights. There was never enough hours in a day because you had to make all these calls, and you know, there were, I mean, like truly sleepless nights. Like, where do we go from here? What's this going to look like? Had a pile of questions that needed to be answered, and the one thing I could always turn to was our awesome customers, friends, and family, constantly. You know, we had several folks always checking up on, you know, hey, how's it going? How you doing? So forth. And then I started meeting with, I went to a local engineering firm and said, hey, we got to get the ball rolling here. And kind of devised a plan and sat down with contractors and just needed to get the point to move forward. You know, we're in September. We got to start shipping seed. Spring's 9 months away. How is this going to happen? So we actually had a phenomenal community support. Had a pile of small businesses such as our own that come together, rallied around us to say, what can we do to help? What can we do to help?
Wow.
And I'd say I took advantage of those opportunities, and every person we worked with was very local. I mean, our plumber had started a plumbing business a couple of years prior to that, and, you know, was eager to help, eager to work. The guy that was the one that reported the fire, built the building the first time as a neighbor. He rebuilt the building a second time, and the conversation was, I don't really know what your schedule looks like, but we've got to do this.
Like now, because I got to deliver seed. I got to ship seed in. And
yeah. So, but before we could even do any building, we met with DATCAP, Department of Ag and Trade Consumer Protection of Wisconsin, and we hired a private environmentalist, and we had to clean up nearly 3,000 tons of contaminated soil.
Oh my.
From nitrogen, so that there was 8 fire departments on scene, used around 75,000 to 80,000 gallons of water. I think we all since know that with crop protection on site, that was a bad idea after the fact. Of course, I didn't know what to do. It would have been tough to watch this all just burn up without any water. But looking back, honestly, it would probably been one of the best things we maybe didn't do, because anywhere water ran, we had nitrogen. And none of the pesticide levels were high enough to really create a concern. It was primarily nitrogen. So we had to go through the whole cleanup task. We started that the week of Thanksgiving. So this happened in September. It took through soil sampling and all the things to get to where we need to be to start the cleanup. And so when we devised the plan, when DATCAP basically said, hey, listen, we want to help you get back in business as fast as you can. And I thought, this is incredible. You know,
yes.
we're all on the same team here. We want to achieve the same goal. Let's do it.
That's a miracle.
Right. So we started, the first thing was, okay, I can store seed in my basement, my garage, wherever. Excuse me. But with crop protection, we needed to have containment. We need to have the facilities. So that was my priority, was to actually get that building up and running first, because we were out of the way of the contamination so that they could start excavating, digging, pouring concrete, all the stuff. And then so they were working through getting that building set while those guys were excavating and cleaning up contaminated soil and so forth. So,
wow. Morgan, did you even think about the contamination perspective of it?
No, not at all.
That didn't cross my mind.
No.
Yeah. I'm just thinking debris.
Yeah.
Yeah, debris was actually cleaned up within a couple weeks after the fire. We moved pretty fast on that. Just, you know, we have a fire on a main road that created a lot of media attention. There was a lot of looky-loos, and
I bet.
a lot of people. I mean, I was completely surprised there wasn't more accidents or other things that may have taken place just due to the amount of traffic that we obtained. You know, we had to close down the immediate location. Just insurance basically said, hey, anybody else on site, not good. Keep these guys away. So we kind of locked everything up and said, you know, stay far away.
Yep.
And So that's kind of the extent of the whole cleanup process and the rebuild back. And on January 15th, we were actually getting ready to go on a customer trip with some customers, and they were just starting the seed warehouse and office space.
Wow.
Yep. So they did start the chem building probably, I think, the week before Christmas or so. Obviously, I was being watched over through this entire project because our weather we had that winter was very mild. You know, we were able to pour concrete in February, where a lot of times we never were able to.
In central Wisconsin, that's pretty rare.
Yeah, it was quite remarkable with how warm we were, and we didn't really run into any frost issues with digging up contaminated soil, much pushbacks. We were pretty dry, through even the spring time frame, as far as guys were able to. Construction was able to probably progress faster because we could be more efficient, not being all bundled up and having some nice weather and being able to move forward.
God is good.
God is great.
Mm-hmm. He was watching over you.
Oh, man. Had to be.
Yep.
Had to be.
This is unfair to ask, but because I got a microphone in front of me, I can.
Yep.
The one takeaway, the one thing that just kind of says, man.
Never take anything for granted.
Okay. Enjoy with the blessing we have.
Very much so. And I say that simply because, we obtained a lot of efficiencies with this. We've taken strides ahead, with being efficient or being able to serve our customers. I started the hard way, building this thing from the ground up. And, we rented a warehouse in town from a very grateful to be able to do that. We found a location that was empty, and moving seed 1,000 times, not having enough space, just basically, innovating, adapting, and overcoming the entire process. So I kind of set a goal of opening around the 1st of April, and I didn't know really what that was going to look like. I think a lot of the contractors I'd hired said, "You're absolutely nuts." Literally, and then several of them after the fact have come up to me and was like, "Dude, how did we pull this off?" And it was all attributed to the communication, the hard work, in the planning of getting everything moving. I was trying to think, okay, if spring's here, what do we need to do? Yep. What do we got to have? What's the next step? And trying to implement it quicker, because I had one goal, and that was to be able to serve every single one of my customers that spring.
What a goal. Taking care of other people.
And we moved in and opened April 1st.
Wow. Woo. 8 months, 7 months? I can't do the math. 6 months.
Yeah.
It was 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we built over 24,000 square feet of building space with office, completely finished. All of our exterior excavating, our fertilizer containment, tank set, basically ready to service a customer for sure by April 10th to no degree. And we moved all of our seed from a rented location to this location for sorting and distributing to the farm.
Wow.
And I had customers that brought trucks and trailers to, when we went from this rented warehouse back to, where we do business and so forth, just to volunteer their time to help. Through that, I had numerous customers from, hey, I need help at 6 o'clock at night carrying drywall in. I mean, it was unfathomable amount of support that we achieved in doing this.
That's amazing.
It was incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know how many customers volunteer their time to help you. I mean, how many industries does that happen? Are Walmart customers helping Walmart rebuild a Walmart?
Not a lot
No.
of industries do that.
And that's
Right.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And, a lot of these customers have gotten to be good friends and almost family
Yes.
to some degree.
They are family.
No doubt. No
Yep.
doubt.
They have a vested interest in you. I've met them, some of them,
Yep.
and you can see it, you can feel it.
And I want to invest my time and effort and energy into them as well.
Absolutely. It's a very much symbiotic relationship, and that's what family's all about.
That's right.
Switching gears just a little bit,
Yeah.
how would they describe you, those customers?
Oh boy, that's a good question.
Try to keep the swearing to a minimum on this one.
Yeah. I would hope they'd say energetic.
They would.
I would think that they would probably say accessible. I would hope. And trying to look for other adjectives that would fit this.
You were very dedicated.
Very dedicated. This business that I've created, not only with Beck's but also on the retail side, I've dedicated the last 10 years of my life to it.
Mm-hmm.
Every waking moment, it seems that it doesn't matter what time of day and or at night or whatever. If they need me, I hope I'm accessible enough to that they know that, and we're here to help them.
It's been 4 or 5 years ago. I can't even remember the math, but we were sitting in a restaurant in Nowheresville, Iowa, before a Beck event. I'm not even sure what it was. Maybe it was summer camp in Des Moines.
Could be.
But we were there with Brian Veach and one other person, I can't remember whom. And you told me, David, I want to grow this business, and I want to grow it to where I know I can still help every farmer.
That's right.
And that's almost exactly the way you said it.
Yep. That's our goal.
That's your goal.
That's
and
our
that's
goal.
how you live your life. And here
Yep.
you are. The business has more than doubled since then.
Oh,
and
yeah.
probably tripled since then.
Right.
And you're still helping every farmer. Dedicated, accessible. That's powerful.
Right. That's our goal.
That's huge. Keep that up. You'll be fine.
Thanks, man.
God will keep blessing you for that.
You bet.
What excites you about the future?
Yeah. So, our goal is to continue to grow and to help other farmers be successful and spread the word of Beck's. But also, we talk about a lot of consolidation in the industry, and that's from large companies all the way down to the local level. And in ag, in the recent years, there's been a lot of mergers. We've had a lot of competitors that have gotten bought out by other larger corporations. And there's one thing that still remains the same, and that's me, right? So we're family owned. Beck's is family owned. We're independent. Beck's is independent. I don't think you're going to find the level of passion and or care and or service from anybody who isn't independent in this business. That's one thing that I've really noticed is that time changes things, as we mentioned, and that's one thing that I would really pride ourselves in is that we're family owned, we're independent, we're accessible, and it's a 24/7 business to me, and we're going to remain that way. Mm-hmm. And I'm proud to be with Beck's to be able to do the same.
Well, we're thrilled to have you. The synergy in what you do and we do.
Very similar. Very similar.
Very similar.
Very much so.
One piece of advice you would give to anybody going through a tough time?
Be strong, but also be willing to innovate, adapt, and overcome. Time heals everything. It does. And you have to be able to look forward, move forward, and look to the people around you.
People are here to help?
No doubt. No doubt.
We're not alone.
We're not alone. Never. Never. It was tough. Going through all that was very tough. But I knew that I had a goal. And I tell you, the community support, the customer support, was unimaginable. And that drove me. That drove me.
What a ray of hope.
Yep.
To know that people were with you despite what
Yeah.
was going on around you.
You bet.
Standing in the ashes of your business, there were people there helping you sift through it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people, that say, well, it's just a building, it's just this, it's just your place of business. You didn't lose the business, you lost the location, and at first it's like, man, you have no idea how proud I was or what it took to get there. Time, energy, effort,
Capital.
all of it. And, I was pretty proud to be able to get to that point. And as time went on, I started to realize, though, that community around you, that they were right, that it is just a location and we can operate elsewhere. And my business didn't change. We retained all of those customers through all of that. We were able to work side by side with them. We were able to service them come spring. We were able to, build those relationships with them through all of it. And just keep your head high and move forward.
The saying that the building is the house, the people make it a home,
Right.
applied to the business as well.
100%. It was very emotional, not only for me, but also the employees that show up to work there every day. And, we kind of created a landmark in the community, very much so. And that attributed to our success as well, is that we're here, right? We're invested. And, the goal and the hope of, build back better, improve, make improvements, all of the stuff was definitely a goal. But we turned it into reality.
You sure did.
Very much so.
With the help of a lot of good people and the good Lord watching out over us.
Yep.
No limit to what we can accomplish.
It's 100% correct. Yeah.
Well, if you're ever near Platteville, Wisconsin, please stop by and see Vondra Ag Services.
You bet.
It's a beautiful spot, the way it overlooks the rolling hills, and it's picturesque. I can't wait to see the new building.
Yeah.
I remember the old building very well, and I need to
Anybody's
get
welcome.
up there.
Yeah, anytime.
Morgan, what'd I miss?
Sorry, I had to go handheld.
No, you're
nothing.
fine.
Nothing
Okay.
at all.
Okay.
It's amazing what, you've been able to accomplish. So,
Thank you.
well done.
Quite a story.
Quite a story.
You bet.
Any lasting comments from you, sir?
I think we're good, but I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, we're glad you were here, and you're not getting out of here without the fun Fast Five. So, are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. These questions I did not let you see for all the right reasons, and Morgan never even gets to see these questions.
Not
All
me.
right.
It's very secret. So here we go.
Yep.
Classic sports car or classic truck?
Corvette.
Oh, good choice. Rich or successful?
Successful.
Foreign vacation or domestic?
Foreign.
Ooh, about stumped him on that one.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Okay.
Yeah, pause.
Yeah.
Underestimated or overestimated?
Underestimated.
I knew the answer to that one. Last but not least, this is a toughie. Pepsi or Coke?
Oh, I'm not a soda drinker.
Oh, man. What do you enjoy?
I would say that I'm probably more of a iced tea lemonade type of guy. Not a cola.
Arnold Palmer.
Oh,
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
mix them
Yeah.
together and get crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite lemonade, or is it homemade the way to go?
No real preference.
Okay.
Yeah. Just not into the colas.
Okay. Good for you.
Clear
It's healthier.
soda, maybe sometimes,
Sure.
But yeah.
Well, good. Yeah. Way healthier.
Yeah.
Man, I thought for sure he was going to be a Coke guy, but I swung and missed on that
Yeah.
one, Morgan.
Way to go.
What about
Yeah.
bourbon or rye?
Oh, probably bourbon.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm a brandy over whiskey guy too.
Oh, brandy over whiskey.
Yeah.
Randy. Interesting.
That's that. I don't know that I've run into just too many brandy folks. I feel like we need
Old
to be
school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sitting here with cigars and
Yeah.
sifting
Yeah.
Sure.
or snifting or whatever that word is. I can't spell. Something
I
like
don't
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Snifter. Because it's a snifter
It's
glass.
a snifter glass. That's what
Right.
it is. Thank you. See, this is why we have Morgan here.
Right.
He cleans up all my messes. But, well, Brady, again, thank you.
Yeah. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
It's a treat to have you. And, again, I can't wait to get up and see the new place and meet your son.
Yes.
This is going to be
Anytime.
great.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to
Pleasure
it.
to have you.
No. Thanks to you for joining us for Across the Acres, where our goal is to connect, challenge, and inspire. If you get the chance, give us a 5-star rating and review on the podcast provider of your choice. And until next time, we will catch you across the acres.